Hey guys, it's Heather with So Rockin' the Style. Today I'm going to show you how I cut vinyl designs for shirts with my Silhouette. Today I'm going to be working on some senior shirts. So this is one of the first designs that I'm going to be working with. I've kind of already played around with the size. You'll just need to measure the shirt that you're going to put it on. I think I'm working with an extra large today. This design is about 8.3 wide by 10.8 long. And then this one is all grouped together, so it's going to be one solid color. If you want to change the sizes, then you just click on the image and it has the little squares in the bottom, and you can drag and shrink it down or make it bigger, whichever way that you need it to go. So when we're working with HTV, you will want to mirror your image. You're going to mirror the design. So I right click, I will flip horizontally, so now that the image is backwards. I will send it to my silhouette, and then when you're sending it, you'll want to make sure that your design is inside all of the red lines that are around the edging of the mat, which is your cut lines. Now if you can see, it's lit up all the way around the design, so that shows me that it's going to cut. I come over here, I'm not sure if you can see, over to the bottom right hand of the screen. I have heat transfer smooth selected because that's what I'm going to be cutting. I have it set to cut. I'm cutting with a ratchet blade because I have the Silhouette Cameo 2. My speed is, or my blade is a 2, my speed is an 8, and my force is a 10. So let me get my vinyl on the mat and I will come right back. Now I'm at my Silhouette Cameo. Never mind my blue tape here. My mat is not sticky anymore. I need to either order me a new one or try to see if I can re-stick this one. I'm going to line it up with the little edges on each side. Load my cutting mat. And then I'm going to go and send it from the computer to the Cameo. Now it's finished. I also forgot to mention, when you're working with HTV, it has like a shiny side and it'll have a dull side. You're going to cut the design on the dull side and not the shiny side. Let me remove my tape. And grab my scissors. Then I'll find where my design, because it didn't fill up the whole entire sheet, where it stopped, and I will cut it And then I always save my extras. I have a box underneath my table that I throw all my scraps in. Let me turn on my light here so I can see to weed this out. I normally use my fingernail and go to the corner to where it starts to peel it up a little bit, and then I'll weed around the whole outside. Let me readjust the camera real quick so that way you can see what I'm doing. Okay, now I have my camera readjusted. Hopefully you can see a little better. You'll be able to see, once you have it in front of you, all of your cut lines. And then I have a little weeding pen that I will go in and pull up the little pieces that need to be weeded out. I think I end up having more issues with the vinyl sticking to my fingers than I do sticking to my design. And this here is pretty much like a simple design. Some designs do get a little finicky. They'll have, you have smaller pieces that makes it a little harder to work with. One more piece here. And I like to flip the design the right way and make sure that I got all of the pieces weeded out that needed to come out. And now that the design is ready, we'll go over to the heat press and I'll show you how I press it. Okay, my heat press is just about ready to reach its temperature. So I'm going to lay out the shirt and give it a light pre-press to press out any wrinkles and any moisture that may be in the shirt. So I'm just going to press it just for a couple seconds. And then I'm going to fold the shirt in half to be able to find my center. And then I will press it again to give me the crease down the middle. Make sure it's lined up. Okay, now I'm going to press it again to get my crease. Then I will open it back up, and you can see a line running down the center of my shirt. So now I know where to place my design. I just kind of make sure it's straight. And then I will get my measuring tape, and I measure 3 inches down from the bottom of the collar. And I'll just take my fingernail and kind of make a little mark so then I can see. And then here's our design. I'm going to take the design and I fold it in half as pretty much as best as I can to try to get the center of the design. Kind of crease it a little bit. And then my mark is right there. And I'll line up my crease with the crease in the shirt, and then with the little mark that I made to show that it's 3 inches down. And then sometimes I just kind of like fold it up a little bit to make sure that it looks centered. I didn't crease it very well. I'm going to crease it a little bit more so I can see it. It's kind of hard to see in that white. So it looks lined up. Let me check it again. Okay. So now it looks ready to go. I'll slide it back under, and then I use parchment paper over the top of my designs. I don't think I've ever used a piece of Teflon. I don't even own Teflon. I normally just buy like a whole package of parchment paper, and I can use the same piece multiple times. So now my heat press is at 310 for about 15 seconds, but this is a brand new heat press and I still haven't figured out how the timer goes off. My birthday was on the 28th and my husband got this for me as a gift. So I kind of count in my head because I don't know how to get the timer to go off. So if anybody knows how to make the timer go off, you can leave a comment below. I would surely appreciate it. And then this vinyl is the Sizer Easy Weed or Caesar Easy Weed. I'm not sure how you pronounce it. And you can peel it hot or cold, but I prefer to peel it hot. And then when you're pressing with HTV, you should see like the lines of the fabric or whatever that you're pressing on should come through the design. So then I normally cover it up again, and I'll press it one more time. For about 10 seconds. And then make sure that it looks all here. So then if you can see, I'm not sure if it's probably too bright, but show or see a little bit, you can see the actual lines of the shirt, the grains of the shirt actually showing through the design. But now this design is finished. Now I'll show you how I do a two-color design. Okay, now we're back at the computer. Let me switch to the other design that I was going to work with. I'm going to be making this shirt, this one, and this one. So I think I'm going to go ahead and use this one. This gold here I'm actually going to do in gold glitter, and the black of the cap and all of the stars I'm going to do in a white glitter. So I've already kind of adjusted the size. I think I'm going to make it just a little bit bigger. Okay. And then since I have two different colors, some people may do it a different way, and there's no right or wrong way of how you want to do it, but this is just my way. I click up here at the top. It's like a little, like a paint tray, and then I can be able to select by color. So I click the paint tray, it comes up over here to the right, and you can select it by line or you can select it by fill color. I click by fill, and then all of the black is like separate pieces, so I will click on the black. I will come over to the design and I will right click and I will group them all together. So now my black is all one piece. So I will move it off of my mat for right now, because I actually need two of this same design. So I'm going to attempt to see if I can duplicate it and fit both at the same time. Nope, it's not going to fit. I would have to use my longer mat to be able to do both at the same time. So let's start with this one. Remember, we have to mirror the design, so I flipped it horizontally to give to make it backwards. I'm going to send it to the silhouette, and then I have a blade. Well, you kind of can't see it. I have a blade that I wrote glitter. That's a glitter blade. So I know that this blade I will only use to cut glitter vinyl. So I'm going to switch out my blade. And I have the numbers set on here to what the speed and everything that I cut it at. I'm going to move it down just a little bit because it's a little close to the cut line at the top, just to be on the safe side. And then I'm only cutting the gold. I have it set to heat transfer smooth. It's set to cut with a ratchet blade. And then I'm going to change my speed and my blade. My blade will cut at a 5, and my speed should be okay because this is a pretty big design. It's not like really small parts. But then my force is going to be a 33. And this may not work for everyone. This is just what works for me, because it depends on if your blade is dull or new, how well it cuts through. So let me get my gold glitter. gold glitter vinyl. And let me adjust the camera to bring you back over to the silhouette. Okay, I have you back at the silhouette. Here is my gold vinyl. And like I said before, when you're cutting with HTV, you want your shiny side to be down on the mat and your dull side to be facing up. And then I'm going to line it up. I might cut it a little too wide. I bought a whole roll of this. And then I'll have to use my tape until I re-stick my mat. That should be alright like that. I'm going to pull my machine out. And I'm going to load it in the same way as I did before. And then I have, my blade is set to 5. And when you put your blade back in, you need to make sure that it's pushed all the way down to lock it back in place. Then I'm going to hit send on my computer to send it to the silhouette. I will come back as soon as it's finished cutting. Okay, I have it pulled off the mat, and I went ahead and cut the bottom part so I know where I need to weed at. Glitter is a little bit tougher to weed out. With the glitter, it's a little bit thicker, so you can kind of like, I just kind of bend it a little bit and it'll lift up where it needs to be weeded out, and I pull that piece off. And there is that. Now I need to cut the hat and the stars, but this scrap piece here, I actually saved this because I can use glitter HTV in my embroidery when I'm making appliques. The little bitty pieces I don't really save. So now let's go back to the computer and we will cut out the stars and the hat. Okay, we're back at the computer, so let me click back up here. You can't see. Let me see here. Okay, back up here at the top, I will click Design to go back to my page. I'm going to move the gold off of the mat. I know you can cut them, just cut by color, but it just works easier for me this way. So I'm going to put this one here, and then I'm going to flip it horizontally, that way I mirror my image. Make sure that it is inside all of the red border that's around the mat, so that way it will cut correctly. We're going to click send. It will take us back to the page we were at before. Now we're cutting the black, but I'm actually going to be cutting this on white glitter. So I'm going to leave my glitter settings down at the bottom. Down at the bottom over here in the right hand corner. I'm going to leave my glitter settings, and then let's go back to the mat. Okay, now we're back at the machine. Let me get my white glitter. Here's the white glitter. Place it shiny side down. Make sure it's lined up pretty good. Then I'm going to tape it back down again. Okay. Slide my machine back forward. Load it into the machine. And we're going to hit send. So it will send the design to the machine again. And now it's finished. Move this out of the way. Remove my tape. Move it on my mat. And I could have grouped all of the stars together and kind of placed them back individually, but that takes a lot more time, and I know I'm kind of wasting some of my vinyl here. Which, if I use the bigger pieces in my embroidery, then I'm not wasting. I don't really have any wasted pieces. So let's weed this one. So now all of this extra vinyl here, since it's glitter, I can save this and use it in my embroidery, so that way I'm not wasting all of that excess glitter. So now the white glitter is ready to go. Make sure there wasn't any pieces in the hat. Nope, I think we're good. So now we have our white and we have the gold. overlap the gold. So let's go to the heat press and I'll show you how to press the glitter. So now we're going to do the same thing we did before. Let me grab my shirt. We're going to lay it out and pre-press it to remove wrinkles and any moisture that may be inside the shirt. And then we're going to fold it in half again, trying to line up all of our seams. And then sometimes when you get the shirts, they're a little wonky on the seam part. I just kind of run my finger through it, or sometimes you might have to like pre-press the little edges here to get them to be straight. Make sure this is straight on the machine, and I will press it again. Just for a couple seconds, and now we will open it back up. And make sure it's straight. Then I have my seam running, or not seam, but where I pressed it to run there to show me where my center is. And then I will get my measuring tape again and come down 3 inches from the bottom seam. Normally on like medium or small shirts, I only come down maybe like 2 inches, maybe 2.5 inches. But this shirt I'm working with here is an extra large. So then I will get the design. And then I kind of lay it together just so I can kind of get an idea of what it should look like, and fold them both in half to give me the center. And then my little mark I made is right there to come down for the 3 inches. And I'll remove the white one off of the top. Make sure this is so I can see. This one's like extra sticky. And I line my crease with the crease that I made in the shirt. And make sure it's straight. Then sometimes I just pull the shirt off and kind of eyeball it to make sure it looks straight enough. To like make sure it's straight. Then I will get my parchment paper and my temperature is still set at 310. I think it calls to increase it, but I just pressed it a little longer instead of increasing the temperature. For about 20 seconds at 310. My parchment paper. And then I'm going to peel the glitter sheet hot. And now we are going to lay down the white glitter. Let me refer back to my picture. Make sure that none of my white is overlapping any of my gold, because that's not where it was supposed to go. Okay, now that piece is ready. We'll place the parchment paper back on, slide it back under, and press it again. That was about 15 seconds. Then I will peel off the white, peel off the carrier sheet, and then I'm going to cover it and I'm going to press it one more time just to be on the safe side. And that was about 10 seconds. Slide it out, move my parchment paper, and double check everything. And this one is finished and ready to go. Now I have to make another of this same shirt.